Alright, so if you know my channel by now, you're kind of familiar with how I just squat nothing fancy shooting locations once he's done. This time it looks like you're going to be stuck with jazz hands. In order to redo it, I kind of have to move a bunch of stuff and get it all configured. Thanks for watching, thanks for subbing, blah blah blah, you know how all that works. Here's the deal, I just got back into school, and last time I checked it was like 18 credit hours or something, so I'm getting my ass handed to me. I don't really have as much time. As soon as I, have little breaks and stuff, I'm going to try to keep working on the Lessons of My Father series and all that stuff. For now, this is just a quick little pickup video like the rest of the ones I've been doing lately to answer a couple of questions and comments. Last time I kind of gave myself an arbitrary price gap of about, I don't know, $80 to $120 max that I didn't really want to go above. I figured those are kind of the realistic carry blades that I use, like day-to-day stuff. I think you can get this one for about $40. After I did that one, I decided to carry it for a whole week. Here's the condition now. Check this out. If you look at the tip there, look at how worn that's gotten. I actually used this to cut a lot of stuff this week. It's been kind of my go-to. I also used it as a scalpel for some vinyl work I was doing. Really cool. I'm really surprised at how much I like this, especially because it's in auto, and generally I'm not as big a fan of the autos. Some tip wear on it. I just like the manual actions. I like feeling like there's an element of my skill involved, and I don't know, I like it a bit more. This is kind of just, press a button and it jumps out of your hand all threatening, Danny Zuko-like. Not really as cool. I would love to see this in manual. That would still be pretty awesome. But for the form factor, how big it is, I still love it as an auto, surprisingly enough. This is not the kind of price range I'm going to be going over today. I wanted to touch on the more expensive ones, how everyone kept asking about. So I'm going to start in really no order at all. They're just going to kind of come randomly. Let me start with one that, let me see, what is this? I've carried this for a long time, and it has an inscrutable name. It's something like the 10100FK, something like that, LFK, I don't know. Anyways, I thought this was a lot more expensive than it really was. This is one that Nothing Fancy gave to me back when I was about 17, 18. I've gone a lot of places, had a lot of adventures in this, and I've really come to like it. It is not very cool looking. I mean, the blade's cool. It's 440C, Taiwan, blah, blah, blah. You can see a little bit of clip wear. But this whole thing, there's not really much going on. It's just plastic, rubber, great for gripping, great for cutting stuff. I've been able to cut down stuff like banana trees with ease with this, and it was really impressive. Not that that's like a feat. They're pretty much just water and a little piece of straw, but still fun to do. I really thought it would be more expensive. It's pretty big, it fits in the pocket well. It is, it is what it is. It's a big ass blade and a small frame. I've tried to make this mechanism fail, how it comes out in its travel, and I've never been able to do it. I've tried to see if there's like a timing way to screw it up. It hasn't happened yet. So it's pretty awesome. I have been able to sharpen it, take care of it, maintain it. It's been pretty much rust free. Really cool, especially when you consider, I think the old MSRP for it was about $100 when I looked at it earlier today. That's a lot of value for something that's essentially a fixed blade in a folder package. You're still going to have that to conceal and put in there, but if you want this kind of blade length and you want something you don't really have to feel bad about thrashing on, this would be a good option. I don't think they're making it anymore. I think they quit in probably like 08 or something. It brings up a discontinued listing on Benchmade's site. This next one I do love, and honestly I haven't been able to carry it that much. Pretty much anything by Makusta, whatever you want to call them. They're beautiful. They come with just this wonderful factory edge. Everything about them is really just perfectly done. One of the things that really draws people to these high-end knives, and I'm not an exception at all, is almost the jewel watchmaker-like precision that goes into all these. The movement, the feel. What you get out of it is you have kind of a higher expectation of quality. The movement, the lockup, everything about it should be a lot better. You can see this is actually surprisingly imbalance there. I just felt it rubbing against the frame, so that's kind of embarrassing. It's just a cut above what you get in the normal ones. This is a cutting tool, a knife, an heirloom, and then it kind of ascends to a point of collectability where you start collecting it just for the inherent quality and the time that someone had to invest into it. When you look at the price on a lot of these, a lot of the time it's materials, but you'll find blades like this one. This is a freaking AUS-8 steel. It's not just the material cost, because there are great, awesome, expensive high-end knives that are done in AUS-8, but it's actually the fact that you had to have a human life spend a portion of itself going into the workmanship on this. So all these will be kind of a little bit higher in the spectrum for me. These are kind of the limit of my thing of what I'd be buying personally. I'm just not at a point in my life now where I can spend, you know, $1,000 a month on blades. These are all fairly affordable, you know, that's around 100. I want to see if you can find these. I think there's a Tactility for about 140. They do go quick. I wanted to bring a katana, but good luck finding them in stock anywhere. It's just tough to do, so get it when you got it. I haven't been able to really mess with the katanas that much, and I have carried it a bit. I just can't damage that beautiful edge on there. So usually I'll end up carrying one for who knows why, if I'm not even using it to cut. And then I'll bring something like that, you know, AK along, and I'll thrash on this, and then leave this as a safe clean. If you notice the weird angle, I actually have all this kind of tilted around, so I'm not really comfortable weaving my hands through a tripod to do it, but whatever. Anyway, so that's the Mkusta. Might as well leave them all done up here. I do tend to get my knives from Nut and Fancy when he wants to get rid of them. This is one that he was looking at having me sell off a while back. I ended up liking it a lot. This is the Benchmade Dejavu. It's a comfortable blade. That was kind of an embarrassing open. It's kind of long, man. Anyways, I like it. It's smooth. It's got really precise feel to it. I'm not much of a carry a knife to go knife fight kind of guy. I'm more of a carry a knife to cut things open and, you know, use as a tool all day. That's how this one gets used all the time. I love it. It doesn't have a lot of traction or anything on it. This is kind of a gentleman's blade. It's got a really smooth pocket carry feel to it. I love that. I love the positive tactile response of this liner lock. It's easy to get. It's big. It's very well, you know, cut out in there. It's just a great knife. I love it. It's probably about $130 or so, depending on where you get it and find it. That's a pretty good price. There are all kinds of things you can find and really like. This one I just love because it's so easy opening. There's no resistance. It's glass smooth in there. It buries pretty well, and it carries very straight. It's not like a lot of these other ones where they'll kind of have a weird funky curve to it as it dangles in your pocket, so it kind of precludes you from putting more stuff in. In this, it goes straight down, then you can kind of fit a phone next to it, and you can have some other straight stuff going down in your pockets without worrying about losing all this unnecessary real estate on it. That's really cool. Another thing I do like, especially after I busted my hand for a while, man, I can't open that thing to save my life. Keep in mind, I'm weaving my arm through a tripod. My torso is actually like over here, so I'm trying to make these arms appear even though this would be more natural for it. Anyways, after I got my hand busted, I actually spent a lot of time carrying left-handed, which I tended to do a lot of other times anyways. It just depends on how I wanted to open it, so I've actually become a little more comfortable with just opening and closing stuff with my left hand, because that was my operative one for a while. I kind of like it. This is a good, fairly ambidextrous blade. It's not that I would go around switching the clips on it because I didn't care that much. I would just kind of, you know, swap it around, see what carried either way. So for you lefties out there, I do understand what you're going through. It's kind of nice sometimes. I like carrying lefty because it gives me some right hand pocket space that I need more often than not. Anyways, this is one I'm kind of on the fence about. When I first saw this, I did like it. I like the form, I like the carbon, I like the funky blade shape. This is a very unusual one. This has a lot of style. This is like something that, you know, Swayze would pull in Roadhouse, you know, before his throat ripping or whatever it was that he did. But then you kind of see this stamp back here. It says Taichung, Taiwan. I wonder if they could make that any bigger, because really that seems out of place on such a classy blade. It's S30v Spyderco. You got this awesome, this is a textured one. This is not like some of their others. I've seen some of them where they just do the lacquered one, like the Native I had for a while. It just had kind of a flat, matte feel to it. This is actually textured, so it kind of goes with the grain. It's really nice. This has a great positive action on it. Everything on it's, you know, it's well gimped, gimped, whatever you want to call it. It's got the little cutouts and the liner there. Really nice knife. I really do like it. It has this cute little ratchet feature if you listen. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's got a very bizarre flair to it. It does seem like kind of a cafe racer blade or something like that. It's cool, but at that price point, $140, $150, I kind of start to question it because, I mean, it's made in Taiwan. You can't really have that high of labor costs. I know it's S30, I know it's carbon fiber. I do kind of wonder at that price point if they couldn't just do it US. So while this is a really awesome blade, it's the Shemp design, it's really great all around, I can't help but wonder if I would love it even more if they had made it, you know, in one of their stateside ones, if it had the awesome golden Colorado Earth label on there. I bet you I would like it a lot more than I do now. Even if it meant paying maybe another 70, 80 bucks if that were possible. It would just really kind of kick it up a notch for me. I mean, as it is right now, I don't have a huge boner for it. I maybe, you know, 3, 4 o'clock at most. But if it were US made, US produced design, it's a great design, it's awesome, it's got just a lot of character to it, then it would probably put me more towards like 9 to 10, it's a cool blade regardless. I would see if you could find it for less than 150. If you could get this for around 100, then it's an awesome, awesome knife. I would love that. But for 150 sticker, I don't know. There are a lot of other things that I love just as much, if not more, for around the same price, which you're kind of seeing here. I would definitely choose this over the Dejavu, at least if you're just going for some EDC that you want to carry for a long time. That's really cool. Between this and the Mcusta though, I don't know. I may be going for a Tactility over that, especially if you can get a really good, some of those cocoa wood handles. They're just awesome looking. Next up, we'll throw something good into the mix. This is one I really love too. This is the Viper Start, I think. Start Viper, something like that. I always just call it the D2 because it's the little prominent steel thing there. This has a good micarta, I'm pretty sure it is, handle. Looks like it at least. This is made in Italy, and these are some beautiful ones. I love just those little proof marks on there. It looks awesome. The clip is about my only gripe with it. It's kind of pointless. It sticks up a lot, kind of hooks on things. This I tend to hate, and this is another reason I carry left-handed. I actually use like a lot of the kind of messenger bags and stuff because they'll keep my papers flatter, and it's not as tough taking them on and off if you're doing public transit. I always have a habit of accidentally hooking whatever blade I'm carrying on the strap as I'm pulling it off, and I'll end up flipping my blade out, which is why I carry cheesy blades. This one was especially bad at that. It seemed to always just grab it at the wrong time, throwing my knife on the floor, making a big scene. That sucks. So I haven't carried it as much lately. I'm kind of working at just carrying more left-handed, you know, switching up the modes of transport that I use instead of just going and totally modifying all my knives. It's more of a training around the error instead of just changing your system altogether. It's got a very simple lock system. It's got, you know, it's mild jimping there. It feels great. This does have a really nice, great quality to it. Very smooth, very polished. And I'm amazed, I think it's about 150 as well. That seems to be kind of where all this stuff is. I didn't really do that on purpose. It just kind of happened that way. This is one that I've carried for a long time. You can see a lot of the blade stuff on it. I tried not to clean a lot of these unless they were really nasty and they had like food and stuff on them. I love this thumb stud on here, and it has it on both sides. Again, I love it because I do carry left-handed sometimes. Really cool. There are some other blades that I would love to bring on in here, but stuff like the Sebenza. Sebenzas are awesome, although I wish they had a cooler state name than Idaho on it, because I don't know. I'll show those in another video. I stole a Sebenza for a while and I carried it, and I kept accidentally putting it in my left pocket, forgetting there is no right-sided thumb stud on there, so I'd pull it out and try to flip it. No, I forgot I'm carrying a Sebenza. Yeah, I like having both of them. Kind of a nitpicky thing. I do like these holes too. That's a great method. They're all pretty much awesome. Next one, Nothing Fancy did try to convince me forever and ever. It's the, and I can't flip it worth the crap. It's the Alomar. I think this is a Talon. All the Alomar knives are pretty awesome, especially this series. I think they're mostly designed and priced based on their blade length here. This is a 4-inch, so I'm pretty sure it is a Talon. It's about 150, 160. Awesome knife, very thin, very classic. I want to say it's US made. Don't quote me on that though. I didn't have a lot of time to go through and research all these. I love that blade emblem there. That's cool. It's classy. That kind of has this 80s flair to it that just, it looks awesome. I love this. This is a really skinny, nice, just kind of a gentleman's pocket knife. And this has a lot of reach. When I carry knives, if you look, most of mine are actually pretty big. That's just kind of the way I like them. I don't really like having these smaller ones. You know, this Piranha is maybe about the smallest I'll go. I haven't shown you that yet. The AK is about on the smaller end of things that I'll be willing to do. If you look there, I have like an inch difference between those. Yeah, penis jokes can be made. I'd be making them too. Yeah, I don't know. I like having a lot of length to deal with, but this one really does that. For the price, 160, 170, I don't know. It depends on if you're really into the styling. I love the lining and stuff on this. It's just awesome. Very well made. You got some skeletonizing under there. It's just great. A lot of quality. Very nice. Ooh, we're down to my actual super favorites now. Okay, I'll go my last manual. This is a Benchmade Triage. Love that. I'm not as big a fan of this like sheep's foot blade. This is just the one he got and I kind of stole it from him. I do love this orange color. I find it to be a lot less threatening sometimes because it calls so much attention to itself and it doesn't look like a hot rod, you know, shank somebody knife. To the average sheep person, they just see this and they think, oh, safety. Really cool. This does have the safety belt thing, you know, your belt cutter if you're ever going to use these. I don't know of many people, unless you're like fire rescue, that uses this. I don't know of any, you know, EMS crews that ever do that. I know in training they'll always tell you, oh yeah, you can pull people out. I don't know. I always ever heard of Fire doing that, and that seems to be their game. I love these because honestly it's kind of a sacrificial blade to me. Same with these little ones, the glass punches. You'll see some other knives that I have that use it. I like to use these as kind of the beater blades. So I'll carry this triage and I'll actually use this portion to cut open a lot of boxes and stuff. I'll go through like the cheesy Scotch tape and all that because it means less time I need to use spending, you know, polishing up this blade, making sure it's maintained, trying to get an edge on it, all that tomfoolery. Instead, I'll just use this because, I mean, what's the point? I'm not likely to use it anyways. It's still plenty sharp. I know it's probably not recommended, advised, blah, blah, blah. That's the way I use it. I love this one in black as well. He has, I think, a black, and I want to say it's a spear point or something like that. He keeps taking it back whenever I steal it from him. This one I've worn a lot. This does kind of have a problem, though, from the factory. Under here, it tends to be really grippy, so it'll tear your pants up if you just keep using it day after day. Over time, it has worn itself away, kind of under that clip, so it's less grabby. But still something to watch out for. A lot of these other ones don't really have that problem. I like something that goes in and out smooth, especially for an EDC blade. But there's another penis joke. This one I actually just started carrying about last week or so. This is a Piranha I stole from him. This is one that kind of takes me back a while. I think he bought this probably about 05, 06 maybe. These are great. Another auto. Awesome knives. They're really small, really classy. This has just got that great little switchblade form factor. I probably ought to start looking through this viewfinder. I'm just looking at it. Remember, from like over here, so I'm trying to guess exactly where it is. So yeah, love it. Piranhas. I want to say about 130 for these. You can get them in some really cool color combos too. They have like a pink, a purple, and kind of this like Van Halen splash pattern on it. Really nice. Great steals on all these. I mean, I haven't really had the need to talk about steals on any of them. That's 440C. The rest, because you know, once you get to this game, you're mostly paying for the work. All the stuff is squared away as far as the hardware. You're just paying for the polish. All right, now that we're getting into it, I'll show you the awesome Lion steels. This is a special T&P edition, and I did price this out. Turns out you can get them for about $215 for the black blade, $200 on Blade HQ right now. These are awesome. What this really reminds me of is the older blades, and I kept telling him how much I'd want one of these. The old ones that we used to have, and maybe I'll show them to you in another one, these Benchmade anodized handles they used to do. I think they're the Purdue Autos or something like that. Beautiful. We used to have a red one and a purple one, and back in the day we used to, you know, when we were getting into knife collecting for the first time, we really fell in love with those, but never really had the gumption to carry them. These really harken back to that. That aluminum anodized finish is just beautiful. This does have the little glass punch on there. This one isn't really, you know, done enough to cut with. This is my opened collectible one. I haven't really carried this as much. If you want to see what it looks like worn, here's an orange variant. I think this is a little bit more. This is that D2 steel as well. One thing that does piss me off about these is they have this dumb locking setup that I think you can tighten down or something and make sure it doesn't happen. It's supposed to tighten in there and make it so you can't unlock it. I always inadvertently do it, and then I'm sitting there trying to, you know, redo it one-handed. If you look at the blade on here, you'll kind of get an idea of what it looks like as it wears in. So you can see how it's got that really nice edge. That just looks cool to me. I love it when I get them worn in. It looks like Boba Fett's suit. It means that I'm getting my money out of it. Because if I get a knife that looks like this, it's nice having a safe queen, but if all I do is pull it out of the safe and show it to my grandkids every couple of years, I might as well have just sold it and put the money into something that's actually going to hold its value a lot better than just a knife. You know, you could put it in something like Apple stock 10 years ago or something like that. I don't know. That's just the way I'm thinking. As long as I'm using a knife, I'm using whatever I bought with that, you know, with that money, and therefore the time I had to use to earn it, then I'm happy. That pretty much applies to anything. If I'm not using something, I generally pitch it within a year. I like to do like a purge and just go through all my stuff. If I'm not using it, I'll do that thing where you like turn your coat hangers too. So you just put your hanger facing forward, or I guess backwards. So you have it facing towards you that way. And then throughout, you know, a 6-month period, if you haven't touched that thing, it's going to be sitting the same way. You can just toss it out. Yeah, that's one of those stupid little things you probably hear in Cosmo all the time. Here's another one of our T&P special editions. This one I pretty much had to pay out the ass for because they were so expensive. I was lucky enough to get number 2. I don't carry this that much, again, because I'm worried about losing them and stuff, but you can tell I got some pocket wear on it. These are really cool. They are just tough to open and close. This is a greatly shaped one. You can see how it's kind of worn away on the edge there. I use that as a box opener all the time because I don't want to ruin this awesome blade on there. Beautiful. Very, very cool. Very tough to find. He kind of wanted it that way for a purpose. Really awesome. Love Microtex. I'll probably do another one of the even more high-end stuff. Honestly, I kind of got to talk to him first and see if I can pull it out because I don't know if he's reviewed a lot of the kind of funky stuff that he's got in the Rocket Docket that I've been carrying, but we'll see. Alright, we're kind of down to my top 3 at this point. Benchmade Contigo. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. This is definitely worth it. I think it's the Contigo at least. It's fairly expensive. I want to say it's about $180 or so, if I remember right. It's got just awesome form, awesome shape. I think this is the Axis lock system. Really awesome. It just goes into place, comes right out. It's smoking. I love everything about this knife. I've been carrying it for about a year now, probably a year and a half or so. I use this one, I don't know, a lot every single day. I love how you can just do that. You can kind of, I don't know, I love it. I love everything about this blade. So really awesome. If you have the means, highly recommend it. All that jazz. You can see a little bit of wear. It's held up so well, especially to all the cutting. I mean, if you look at that finish on there, it pretty much looks like it's new, and I don't know why this stupid thing isn't focusing enough. Anyways, awesome blade. Definitely in my top 3. Might as well give it a better primetime spot in there. So we're down to 2 of my absolute favorites, and one of them I don't even carry. This one, if you can find it, definitely buy it. I tried to get a good price for you, but there are so few on the used market right now, I couldn't really even get a baseline for it. I would expect to pay around $200. That's just eyeballing it. I mean, even at $200, it'd probably be a little much for me. Depends. I really do love these, though. It is the Lone Wolf T2 series. If you can find, I think the T1s and T3s they had as well. Both awesome. There is one that's bigger. I forget which one it is. This is awesome. I've lusted after all these Lone Wolves for a long time. I don't think they're making these anymore either. And, even better, it's a William Harsey design. If you remember from my last one, I really love the Harsey Air Ranger. That thing is awesome. It's pretty much the same form factor as these. These just kick it up even more. They have some just great feel to them. Very smooth, glassy action. This liner lock is just easy, positive to engage. It just glides in. This is a fantastic blade. I love the feel of just every single component. It's got quality all over. This is one that you carry forever and ever. Love it. I still haven't really brought myself to steal these from him and start carrying them all the time and put a ton of wear on them. I think he's got one in a wood handle too. They're just awesome. Definitely recommended. Try to find one. Good luck. I'll try to beat you to it. We're down to the last one. Ever since I held this, this has instantly and forever claimed my title of favorite folding knife, and I've tried so many since, and I'm always trying to compare them to it. We've gotten to a point now where Nothing Fancy will, show me new knives. Hey, look at the one I'm checking out now. I'm thinking this will be in a review, blah, blah, blah. I'll show it to me. And I always end up mentally comparing it to this blade. And I always think, yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's, whatever. Because this one has forever spoiled me for everything else. You're probably not going to see it coming. The Spyderco Barong. I love it. And you can tell I forgot to clean this one, it seems. Awesome. That's very classy. Love it. Ever since I held it, it's become my go-to for how much I actually like a folding knife. If anything could ever supplant this, I would be fairly happy because I've spent a long time trying to find a backup for this in case I ever lose it and or destroy it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's awesome. It's a Schempp design just like the Navaja. Just great. And I'm pretty sure it was made in the US when I pulled up the schematics a long time ago, or the specs for it. VG10, really cool. The blade says Japan on it. I don't know if that's just the blade, the whole thing. For all I know, it's entirely Japanese. Again, I probably should have come prepared for this, but I'm just showing you a quick little pickup instead of typing all this out for 10 different comments. These are my favorites. This is awesome. I've tried to find it. I think when they were new, they were probably about 166, I want to say. That's the number that comes to mind. I'm not really sure. I did see one on eBay for a while. The guy was selling it at about $250 or something like that. It was something fairly high. It's probably not that cool, but it is very cool. It's got a very unusual tilt to it. There's something about it from the moment I picked it up and I checked it out, I remember it was like a Saturday night. I was totally alone. I just walked into his office and I was like, hey, cool, he got a couple new knives. And he had this one sitting out. And he always has a lot of different Spydercos, and I never pay him much attention because they're all so similar. If I look right here, literally within hand's reach, I have 2 of them. I got whatever this thing is, and I can personally never tell them apart. This is very nice. This must be one of their higher end ones. VG10, Japanese blade. Yeah, that's a nice one. He's always got a lot of these. This is one of their cheaper ones. You can just tell from kind of the rough hewn finish on it. Hey, look at that, 8CR13 MOV, yay. Yeah, still awesome, awesome blades. The problem is they're all so great and competent. A lot of the Spydercos, I just tend to forget what all of them are. I can't really be bothered to learn each and every variation because I could pretty much pick up any one of their line right now and be totally happy. They're just great. They have a great design. Varying levels of quality. I love their US made ones, the translucent blue, all the great, awesome stuff. This one takes the cake. The color, the design, the feel of it is just precise. It's excellent. This liner lock has just the coolest shape in there. The motion, the movement, it is beautiful. This is my absolute favorite folding knife of all time. I love it. If I can ever find another one, I wish they would just re-release these in a couple different colors because I would freaking carry two of them all the time. That way I could beat on one and just have the other just to look pretty. Would love it. I would just love it. Anyways, Spyderco, if you're listening, please make one. I got a cool color combo too that I would really like. I even thought about getting that other one and kind of doing my Enduracoat thing on it because it would be insanely cool. Anyways, love that blade, really hard to find, which only makes it cooler. So that's it for me. These are most of my favorite high-end knives. Keep in mind, I have a huge selection to choose from. I could probably do another 40 minutes just on the ones that stand out to me. I did try to find one, the Kershaw Knockout, I really liked, but I think he took it somewhere. I can't find it. Anyways, it was going to be in here too, maybe not like super, super high-end. There are a couple others. There are some even higher ends than this that I have access to. Maybe you'll see that next week. I do like doing these because I can just jump in, you know, film for 20 minutes and put it up. Anyways, that's it for this week. Tacticaldoodle, thanks for subbing, thanks for subscribing. Orders I've been getting out like a madman. I got a lot out yesterday. I'm almost caught up. Sorry to the international guys. It's a huge, huge pain in order to go through those and do them, because what happens is you get batched in with the domestic orders. So I'll mark a domestic order as shipped. I'm like, okay, I shipped it to this guy. I have a tracking number in it. And then the international ones will go through it and get attached to it. So it'll show up on my system like I've already done it. It's a whole thing. So in the next week and a half, I'm going to be going through my logs and making sure each and every one got sent. I know I do need some of the necklaces and cases made for you guys before I start really getting them out. But sorry for the delays. It always takes us by surprise how much demand there actually is for this stuff. For the shark patches, we're getting really low on those. I'll throw a link up for you. If you guys want any of them, pretty much now's the time. I'm ready to ship out the sharks domestically because I can get that done a lot quicker. I can do like, you know, I don't know, 100 in an hour or so out to you guys as long as it's simple shark orders because I already have all the stuff preset. Anyways, long ramble about the merch store. Go ahead and buy your stuff here. And I'll get it out to you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. I'm going to try to cut this together as quick as I can so you have something to watch on a Saturday like today. Remember, I'll kind of be checking the comments for the next week or so, but I have an anatomy test coming up already. Yay. Love that. Sorry for hitting the table so much. I keep doing it to kind of mark how much time I've been jibber-jabbering, which at this point is about half an hour. Awesome. Love that. Sorry for the breathing. I think this camera's like really close to my head and I'm trying to talk really fast. Anyways. Awesome. I would normally give you links to a lot of these, but most of them are discontinued. You can still find the Triage, that's about 180. The Alomar, I think this is a Talon, pretty sure. I always want to say Eagle because that's the one he was carrying forever. Maybe it's a Hawk. Anyways, Alomar anything is going to be pretty awesome. Talon I think is about 160 4-inch blade. This is about 140. That's the Start Viper. Contigo about 180. I'm trying to think and remember. All this is more or less coming from memory. I do have a post-it somewhere around here with them, but I kind of forgot where it is. 180 or so, really awesome. Navaja is about 150 or so. I'd say about 130 for these. I think the Dejavu's been discontinued. I don't know if you can find it as easily. Still a cool blade, but for the money, there are a lot of other cool things. Like if I were choosing between these two, I don't know. I'd still probably go the Dejavu just because it's bigger. The Piranha's really great for day-to-day carry. Any of the Piranhas as well. 130 bucks for a cute little auto. They're just awesome. Kustas, get one. I don't know, hopefully you're ballsier than me when it comes to using it and abusing it, because I still cannot bring myself to use that tip. I mean, just look at it. It's freaking... It's pornographic. Look at it. It's just so sharp. I do a lot of the precision cutting in kind of this area of the blade. So when I pick one up, you can... I mean, that's how I got this thing so nasty and dirty, because this has been my go-to utility knife all week, and I generally do that. And I'm sure it's against protocol. But when you're doing detail work and kind of using it as an X-Acto knife, it's really helpful. Those Kustas, I'm sure, are great for it, but I'm just so deathly afraid of breaking them somehow. And I don't even know why, because they use good materials. It's just, oh, so awesome. Anyways, these are them. Keep in mind, you can actually get these. I looked this morning and I was kind of surprised. There are a couple left on Blade HQ. Awesome, awesome stuff. Love this color. I'm probably going to start thrashing on this one after I do this video. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. Keep checking the stuff. I'll see you guys next week. I may do another knife vid, depends. Also, let me know if you're interested in doing a couple other reviews on things that maybe aren't totally associated with the project. I've been getting a lot of questions about the jackets I was wearing in the last couple videos. I would actually be more than happy to kind of pull those out and show you. I know one of them was a Roland Sands. A couple guys were asking me about that as far as using it as a, you know, motorcycle jacket and stuff. I'd be happy to give you guys a rundown. When I'm shopping for stuff, it's always hard to find someone who really has real world reviews on these things. You know, Revzilla and all that, it really only goes so far. They show you and say, hey, it's got a lot of pockets and these pockets are great. Doesn't really tell you a lot about what it looks like once it's broken in. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see that. I could probably do that pretty quickly and easily, especially because it's something I wish that was around when I was doing my shopping and when I do it in the future. Anyways, I got a couple other things on the rocket docket to give you, but for now, this is it. This is the semi-high end. I'd say a cap of about $200. Tacticaldoodle out. I wish I had a fart to punctuate this. I got nothing. Alright, pup, you ready to go?